Welcome to Popcorn Planet. I am Andy Signor. Friends actor Matthew Perry has never hid his substance abuse issues, but for the first time, he's really breaking down the true story in a brutal memoir that he's written called Friends, Lovers, and the Big Terrible Thing. For the first time, he's really getting into the details of what happened with his addiction while he was filming the show. He's revealing tidbits about the show, of course, but he's really breaking it down his addiction issues with opioids and other substances. From the passages I've been seeing, we've gathered a few to go through today. It's just really heartbreaking to see what he was going through while riding such a high with friends. There's a few segments that have been released throughout various media pieces I want to break down for you, but let's start with the Diane Sawyer interview promo. I wanted to play a quick clip here to give you a taste of some of it and also see Matthew.
Hi, my name is Matthew, although you may know me by another name. My friends call me Maddie, and I should be dead.
Yeah, that's definitely true.
Emotional.
This story will be airing this Friday as part of ABC News. Sorry, they're very copyright happy.
Xanax, full quart of vodka a day?
55 Vicodin a day.
55.
Jeez. Yeah.
What he has never before shared.
I was in a coma and, escaped death really narrowly.
On Friends.
He also breaks down the Friends stars.
6 friends. One of them was sick.
Yeah.
Behind the scenes on set and the friends who tried to help.
Jennifer.
Jenny, yeah.
And she says, we know you were drinking.
Yeah. Imagine how scary a moment that was. She was the one that reached out the most. And, I'm really grateful to her for that.
And why now?
It was important to me to do something that would help people.
The Diane Sawyer.
Oh, it's sad, right? But at the same time, inspiring to see that he made it. So many people don't get that luxury. He had a lot of help in order to get there. In fact, he revealed here that he spent probably $9 million trying to get sober. Addiction is no joke, guys. And when you're on opioids, Vicodin was the stuff he was on. These painkillers. I couldn't recommend the show high enough. I've been telling everybody to watch. It's called Dope Sick over on Hulu, starring Michael Keaton, and it really breaks down the opioid crisis. How these pharmaceuticals are just using, well, this is going to help your pain, but actually got people more addicted. And what I learned from that show and people I've spoken to have gone through it. It's not that you're just like addicted and you need the high. No, if you don't take the drug, you feel like you're going to die. It has this withdrawal thing that's just, I've never been through such a feeling I can't even imagine. But as you talk to people who have, it's it's death is really what happens when you don't take it. That's how strong it is. And he breaks down a lot of those thoughts in this book, but also through the New York Times piece that was written about him. What was really impressive when I read this article, the publisher admitted like he didn't get a ghostwriter for this book. This was him. I'm sure he had an editor help him, but he wrote it all through his notes app and he was writing it for a while and he did it himself. There was no other sort of help there to do this. And that was impressive to hear. The publisher's like, look, a lot of these celebrity books are out there, really written by others or et cetera. And no, this was a clear thing he wanted to tell his way with his sort of humor and his realness to really not just get the story out, and scoops on Friends, whatever, but more so to help people to try. And that's sort of at the forward of the book. Beyond Lisa Kudrow writes the forward, but the opening of the book really talks to people, fellow addicts, about what they're going through. There's a lot to break down in sort of the pieces that have come out, including the fact that he admits, alludes to it in that clip with Diane Sawyer, that he almost died. I wanted to share when I was safe from going into the dark side of everything again. I had to wait until I was pretty safely sober and away from the active disease of alcoholism and addiction to write it all down. And the main thing I was pretty certain that it would help people. He opens his memoir with the revelation that he died almost a few years ago at age 49. Publicly acknowledged at the time that he suffered a gastrointestinal perforation. The actor actually spent weeks fighting for his life after his colon burst from opioid overuse. He spent 2 weeks in a coma and 5 months in the hospital and had to use a colostomy bag for 9 months. When I was first admitted to the hospital, my doctors told my family that I had a 2% chance to live. I was put on a thing called an ECMO machine, which does all the breathing for your heart and your lungs, and that's called a Hail Mary. No one survives that. When Perry was first cast, he had an alcohol addiction, but I could handle it kind of, but by the time I was 34, I was really entrenched in a lot of trouble. But there were years that I was sober during that time. Season 9 was the year that I was sober the whole way through. And guess which season I got nominated for Best Actor? I was like, that should tell me something. One terrifying point during his friend's reign, Perry was taking 55 Vicodin a day and was down to 128 pounds. I didn't know how to stop. If the police came to my house and said, if you drink tonight, we're going to take you to jail, I'd start packing. I couldn't stop because the disease and the addiction is progressive. So it gets worse and worse as you grow older. He tried to hide this condition. The dramatic changes in his appearance each year reflected his state of sobriety. His castmates were understanding and they were patient. It's like penguins in nature. When one is sick and one is very injured, the other penguins surround it and prop it up. They walk around it until that penguin can walk on its own. That's kind of what the cast did for me. Candid about his relapses, he had been in rehab 15 times over the years. Perry has become well-versed in the tools necessary to maintain sobriety. I'm pretty healthy now, he says before joking. I've got to not go to the gym much more because I don't want to only be able to play superheroes, but no, I'm a pretty healthy guy right now. While he prefers not to disclose how long he's been currently sober, he does still count each day. It's important, but if you lose sobriety, it doesn't mean you lose all that time and education. Your sober date changes, but that's all that changes. You know everything you knew before. As long as you were able to fight your way back without dying, you learn a lot. He also has his scars. He has 14 surgeries in his stomach. That's a lot of reminders to stay sober. All I have to do is look down. His impetus to stop taking drugs. My therapist said the next time you think about taking Oxycontin, just think about having a colostomy bag for the rest of your life. And a little window opened and I crawled through it and I no longer want Oxycontin anymore. Now Perry is more determined than ever to try to help others who have been struggling. There were 5 people put on an ECMU machine that night and the other 4 died and I survived. So the big question is why? Why was I the one? There has to be some kind of reason. Truly remarkable, and it gets me choked up to hear and grateful for him to open up and share like this. You want to help others when you get saved like this. To see him want to do that is incredibly inspiring and amazing. And so I'm all for this. I'm so grateful for him waiting till he was at a healthier state to really open this book up and hopefully help other people get the strength to break through the addiction. For those that read the book, I think they'll be surprised at how bad it got at certain times and how close I came to dying. I say in the book that if I did die, it would shock people, but it wouldn't surprise anybody. That's a very scary thing to be living with. So my hope is that people will relate to it and know that the disease attacks everybody. It doesn't matter if you're successful or not successful. The disease doesn't care. Everything starts with sobriety, because if you don't have sobriety, you're going to lose everything that you put in front of it. So my sobriety is right up there. I'm an extremely grateful guy. I'm grateful to be alive, that's for sure. And that gives me the possibility to do anything. What I'm surprised with is my resilience, the way that I can bounce back from all the torture and awfulness, wanting to tell this story. Even though it's a little scary to tell all your secrets in a book, I didn't leave anything out. Everything is in there. But it's also a story that's filled with hope, because here I am. Here he is indeed. In fact, they have I have the hotline here as well. If you guys are struggling, if anybody's out there struggling, there is plenty of resources out there to help you through. Call 1-800-662-HELP. That's 1-800-662-4357. If you need help finding a treatment center or a plan, whether it's through mental health issues, substance abuse issues, there are resources out there 24/7, free hotlines you can call to help you on your way to that journey. So please do it. Please seek out some help. You're not alone. $9 million a year. I mean, that's the thing, right? Friendstar, he has all the money. Does everybody else have those types of resources? Not usually. But he said, like, during the height, this episode where he gets, married to Monica, he says he was driven back to a treatment center at the height of his highest point in Friends, right after the iconic scene. He breaks it down. I married Monica and got driven back to treatment center at the height of my highest point in Friends. Highest point in my career, the iconic moment on the iconic show in a pickup truck helmed by a sober technician, he revealed to the New York Times in that piece. It's wild. It's wild, all the stuff he reveals. And then he does reveal, as he teased, in that trailer, apparently it was Jennifer Aniston who reached out the most. I mean, the clip seems a little edited, but she confronted him. I know you're drinking. We know you're drinking is really what, and so the we really sort of surprised him. He also does admit he had a massive crush on her. He had a big crush on Aniston during the sitcom. I had long since gotten over her ever since she started dating Brad Pitt. I was fine and I'd worked out exactly how long to look at her without it being awkward, but still to be confronted by Jennifer Aniston was devastating. And I was confused how she could tell because I'd been trying to hide it, Perry writes. We can smell it, she said in a kind of weird but loving way. And the plural we hit me like a sledgehammer. I knew I'm drinking too much, but I don't know what to do about it. Perry called the confrontation scary in a preview for his upcoming interview with Diane Sawyer. He's told Sawyer that Aniston has remained close contact with him during the times. She's the one that has reached out the most. You know, I'm really grateful for her for that. So yeah, I mean, nice to see. I didn't know that was who didn't have a crush on Jennifer Aniston. Let's call it like it is. Yeah, she apparently turned him down. There was a passage here I was going to read for you. We sat around the table and all met each other for the first time. That is, except me and Jennifer. Jennifer and I had met through mutual acquaintances about 3 years earlier. I was immediately taken by her. How could I not be? And liked her. I got the sense she was intrigued too. Maybe it was going to be something. Back then I had 2 jobs in one day. One was Haywire, an America's Funniest Home Videos type show, and the other was a sitcom. So I called Jennifer and I said, "You're the first person I wanted to tell this to." Bad idea. I could feel ice forming through the phone. Looking back, it was clear that this made her think I liked her too much or in the wrong kind of way, and I only compounded the error by then asking her out. She declined, which made it very difficult to actually go out with her, but said that she'd love to be friends with me, and I compounded that compound by blurting, "We can't be friends?" Ah, the irony. Now, a few years later, ironically, we were friends. Fortunately enough, though, I was still attracted to her, and though she was great, and thought she was great. That first day we were able to sail right past the past and focus on the fact that we had both gotten the best job that Hollywood had to offer when obviously they became friends. The Screen Rant puts a good point here. They don't always do, but they do. Yeah, they never really had a relationship, and they had some interesting chemistry. Rachel and Chandler relationship would have been kind of interesting, but maybe there was like a please don't because I don't know. What do you guys think? Either way, I'm impressed by Matthew Perry here, his rawness, the fact that he wrote this himself, the fact that he apparently also got it ready before the deadline. The publisher was just speaking very highly of how well he was, how put together, and how well written, and without the needing of ghostwriters to really help assist him. All good signs for me of probably a good memoir to pick up, especially if you're struggling. The forward is by Lisa Kudrow, also from Friends. What do you guys think of this? Please let me know. Also, can you please make sure you're subscribed, hit that bell for all alerts, smash the like button as well. All this is important. I know you hear it every video, but please support it, help the algorithm, and leave a comment down below as well. We'll be live later today to discuss this and so much more news, so I hope to see you there. Thanks so much for watching here on Popcorn Planet. And don't forget, here's the number one more time, 1-800-662-HELP, 4357.